Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Happy greetings to you wherever you are. I hope that you are doing well and having a great day or a good moment whenever you listen to this. So, in this message and in this video, I want to focus on something that I experience a lot in my own quality, something that I have as a trait that I've noticed pop up throughout the years and that is the need for approval and validation, and wanting to be liked or wanting to be accepted by others. Sometimes it's specifically one person or a few key people, and definitely we all have that in our lives where we do appreciate, we do like, and we often want that approval and acceptance from someone or some people. It could be our family, it could be our employer, it could be our colleagues, etc. And the reason I'm making it is because it's something that that just came to me as I was on my walk back from the gym, and I was just realizing that a lot of my own pain or sometimes anxiety or worry comes from the thought of being concerned of what someone else might think about me, and especially if I get negative feedback or some kind of disapproval or concern or criticism about my appearance or about mostly about that. And when I get those kinds of messages or feedback, it does bother me and it does hurt me. It hurts me because I don't understand it, and I feel like other people are misunderstanding who I am. They don't really know me. They're just looking at a surface, and they're not willing to go deeper or to think a little bit further about how they're evaluating someone. And I'm sure that I've done this, and we've all done this. We just label and pigeonhole people based on what we see because we can't really get to know everyone in depth. And so what I'd like to impress in this particular video and in this message is that perhaps it's a message that resonates with you and a trait that you've noticed in yourself, and it could have nothing to do with your appearance, or it might, someone in your family or people in your community or environment might make comments about what you look like, whether you're too fat or too skinny, or if you look sick, or if you have issues, or even if it's about your kids, like about how you raise your kids, or about how you work, and so on and so forth. So I think the key is to know that, number one, we do like and sometimes crave and need that validation and approval from others. And it could be strangers, and it can definitely be people close to us because they matter more and they're more in our tribe and in our circle. And they make us feel safer because it just helps to maintain our sense of social equity and strength strong and robust, and like you're in a safe place. So when you're criticized, you feel like you're being ostracized or pushed out. And just know that this is a quality that we have, I think, in our brain and in our upbringing, where we do want to make others happy in some regard. We do want to please and be liked and be seen and be accepted. And it's really normal and it's human. So what it really comes down to is knowing that you may have this quality. It's a trait maybe, or a disposition or tendency in your nature and character and personality. And so just know that you might have this. So awareness is number one. Awareness that you have this quality, that you do like approval, you do have this kind of need to be validated. And then interrogate whether you really need it from X, Y, or Z. If you really should care what a stranger thinks about you. If you even really should care what a friend thinks about you, or what a family member thinks about you. And if so, if it matters, why does it matter? In what way does it impact your existence, your daily life, your well-being, your success, or your ability to thrive in life, right? Ask yourself, why does this matter? Does this person matter? And why do they matter? What is this telling me about them in my life, in my circle? And do I want to accept their feedback? Do I think it's true? And question whether it really is even true. Because you may be jumping the gun. You hear some comments and you immediately take it to heart and you make a big deal about it in your head. And it could be a cognitive distortion where you catastrophize and you make a bigger issue about something that is really inconsequential in the bigger scheme of things. Because maybe if it's a stranger who makes a comment, they don't know you and they'll disappear, and then in a year they will be irrelevant. However, it's different when it's someone close to us, when it's an employer, a colleague, a friend that we've had for a long time, because these are people that we associate more with our survival instinct and our true character in nature, because supposedly they know who we really are better than strangers. So question whether you accept such feedback, whether you really think it's valid, if it concerns you by any stretch, and whether you need to fix something in yourself, because there may not be anything to address. And people will just say whatever they have on their mind sometimes, and they don't think about how their words will impact you or affect you emotionally. Some people will just say words and they don't care what comes out of their mouth. They really don't think about it before they blurt it out. Others are more conscientious. They are more, deeper thinking, more thorough, and more considerate. So just ask yourself, if you take on board the comments you get or the feedback you get, why does it concern you? Is it true in your life? Do you really have XYZ? Are you concerned about it? And then if it's true, if you accept it and you embrace it and you identify that, yes, I also agree with you that I am this or I have that or this and that is true because you say it, I agree with you. Then it's a matter of you taking action and doing something to redress and course correct if it's required. But it may not be so, because you may actually have absolutely no agreement with what another is thinking. But it really depends on your own self-awareness and contemplation and like a thoughtful self-inquiry. And by the way, if you know of Byron Katie, she's a kind of philosophical, spiritual thought professional, and she's like, if you know about her, you really know about her because she created something called The Work, which is 4 questions that invite you to question your own thinking, and it helps you to turn upside down preconceived notions and assumptions so that you can live a more peaceful and serene existence. Because I think that's what we all deserve and need nowadays in this hectic, and frantic paced world. So be true with yourself. Journal if you have to, or if you like to, or if you can. And just know that you have this quality, and whatever they say is not necessarily true. And who's they? Again, it's the people or persons that are giving you this negative feedback or criticism or disapproval or fear talk. And then just know that you really don't need the validation of anyone. You don't need anyone's approval. However, with the caveat of employment being a very different sphere where approval and KPIs and performance come into play. So you really have to treat that in a different manner. But when it comes to yourself, to your character, to your appearance, to your lifestyle, to your values and your attitudes and mindset, that's something very different that needs to be kind of explored a little bit further. And I just invite you from this message to close off is to not just accept whatever you hear or what other people say, But to really ask yourself every time you hear something that sounds off or that makes you feel kind of like, I feel bad about that, ask yourself, well, is it true? I mean, is it really, really true? Am I absolutely sure that it's true? So this is the question from the work that I referenced with Byron Katie. You can find her online. She has videos and she has her own podcast. And there's the downloadable worksheet if you want to do her process, which I find very illuminating and effective. And then take it from there, because just remind yourself you will not need people's approval in life, to survive, except like with regards to employment, maybe. But you do want people in your life. You want to be loved and accepted, and we want to be understood. And that's why we crave relationships that are intimate, and we are so strongly attached to our families and our partners, because we want that tribe, that safety, that acceptance, that unconditional love. And as we get older, you may realize and find that unconditional love is not so easy to come by, unless you were blessed with a like unconditionally loving parent or grandparent. It's really hard to find that in the human real world. And that's why people turn to religion a lot, because they associate that unconditional love and forgiveness and acceptance from a higher power who is not limited by human comportment and human nature. So I hope that my words help and support and uplift you. If you're someone who has a sensitive nature and you care what you hear from others, you want people to understand and value you and appreciate you. However, not everyone out there will have something nice or kind to say all the time or ever. And we just have to learn to be aware that this is a part of the world, and to move on and move with it, and kind of roll with those rumbles of life, and those little hiccups, sort of like universal burps, where it forces you to kind of reconsider what you're bringing into your head and heart and spirit. So I hope this helps, and just know that if you're exaggerating things or blowing things out of proportion, that may be a cognitive distortion where you are catastrophizing, making a mountain out of a molehill, or worse than it really is. And so scale back, interrogate whatever you hear if you feel compelled to, and then just know that it's not necessarily true, and that validation and approval really need to start to come from inside of us. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope this uplifts and empowers you, and I'll see you soon in the next one. So bye for now from Jennifer at Personal Power Wellness Coaching. Lots of love and blessings. Bye.